I do want to return to a part of that thought experiment, by the way. And it has to do with the part about going into court and being told essentially that this is just nothing but mean girl stuff. Even though Victoria, in this thought experiment, Victoria has never responded online.
Never.
She's never said anything about Becky. She's never fought back, right? I'm going to go back to the textbook.
I don't believe that for a second. I don't believe for a second that she's never fought back through another person. What about at the bar that night where she had, I forget what his name is. Somebody, you guys were asking me in chat. The guy who was following him around, taking pictures, inching closer and closer. Jay for Justice did an interview with him. You guys know who I'm talking about. And he was inching closer and closer to get a photo of them. What about that? What about her minions that she's having do her dirty work? How many times did Grayson call the police for her? I mean, really, her little dirty paws are not clean.
Stalkers and their victims. Second edition. Let's consider this whole idea of a cat fight. Here's what Mullen, they have a chapter 11, it's on female stalkers. Here's what Mullen et al. Say about female stalking.
Another book.
Victimization studies, quote, this is on page 136. Okay. Victimization studies indicate that females are seldom prosecuted for stalking offenses, with criminal justice intervention most likely to proceed in those cases involving a male accused of stalking a woman. So this is persistent. Mm-hmm. That many people, including some law enforcement.
This is their third live. Really, Lauren didn't she do another? She did, what's his name? Why can't I remember his name? Duty Ron. She did Duty Ron. And then I think she did one other show. And then Grayson did a show. And then they did their Patreon. Has Christina done anything since any of this? I mean, really, who's turning into the stalker? Who's pounding it home?
Judges, you name it, they don't see stalking as stalking unless it involves a male. Females are just not prosecuted as much. And that speaks to this issue of the mean girl cat fight thing, right? Mm-hmm. This stereotype that stalking is chasing someone with a gun, and specifically, you better be a male, otherwise you're not going to be prosecuted, because if you're a female doing it, it's not serious.
Yeah.
It's a cat fight, right? I'll go on. Quote, put simply, stalking by females is yet to be afforded the same degree of seriousness attached to males who harass. This despite empirical evidence that females are no less intrusive or persistent in their stalking, and that they are no less a threat to their victims.
Well, I believe that. I mean, we're learning. Look at all the teachers that are coming out as molesters. I mean, just because that's
I just want to say on that issue
doesn't make Christina a stalker.
When it comes to stalking, and this is consistent with the research I just read, there's clearly a sexist bias. Mm-hmm. Males are prosecuted, really? Females aren't. When females engage in this type of behavior, even though they're equally dangerous, the research shows this, that they're dismissed. And you know what's interesting about your situation? I really appreciate the fact that certain men like Colby Ryan reached out to you and said, thank you for that vulnerability. Thank you for that type of raw emotion.
So we're going to bring Colby Ryan into it, another Brad Pitt situation where we all know what happened with Colby Ryan. I think we should just put Colby Ryan to bed as being someone as we hold up there as being proof that Lauren is a good person. He doesn't do it for me.
But you know what? There's a lot of people.
But I guess we need to put that aside and look at his body of work, which is his mother, unalived, his siblings. And so now he has been elevated into some kind of status, true crime status, where we're not supposed to question him either. What is the point of that?
That are going to really struggle with that type of raw emotion. There's a lot of people that are going to struggle with that type of a vulnerability. There's a lot of people that are very uncomfortable And because of that, they're labeling you things like histrionic, right? They're dismissing you because you're a female expressing emotion. This is where the sexist bias comes in. They're dismissing you as not serious, as untrustworthy, right? They're dismissing you as frivolous, as silly, as being engaged in a catfight, as a dispute between mean girls because you're female. Because the stalker wasn't following you with the gun, it doesn't matter. People can't handle the type of vulnerability and emotion that you expressed on that live for hours. What's the response? It's to call you histrionic. It's to call you a liar. It's to say you're faking. It's to say you're doing it for clicks. You're doing it for attention, right? That's because, and by the way, one of the people saying this because of this was on our show years ago. And I will say this, one of the worst moments I've ever had in 5 years, one of the moments that pissed me off to no end, unlike every other moment on any show I've ever been on, this person was on the show. And somebody, a viewer asked a question of me that was extremely emotional. And I was pondering the question. You could see I was getting emotional. I was going to give one of the best responses I've ever given. And you know what happened? Because this person couldn't handle the fact that I was getting emotional, they cut me off. They absolutely cut me off, refused to let me answer because they couldn't handle that emotion.
You were about to give the best response of your life and they cut you off? I cannot. John, how do you push forward in life? What the F is this about?
In a male, especially in a male, that raw emotion that I was about to express, and I was so angry. If this person wonders why she's not on our channel, you might want to look at yourself. You might want to look at the fact that you cut me off in one of the most critical moments on one of our shows that I've...
I cannot believe you cut off Dr. John. That is in the rule book and hidden true crime. Rule number 1, do not cut off Dr. John. Rule number 2, do not cut off Dr. John. Rule number 3, don't talk about Lauren ever. And there's really 200 rules, but I just can't go through them all right now.
Ever had. You might want to look at the fact that people didn't like you. You might want to look at the fact that you spoke over Lauren and myself. You might want to look at the fact that you thought you owned this channel when you didn't. You might want to look at the fact that there was a groundswell of people who despised you.
Read the room, Christina. You never cut off Dr. John.
So this idea of female stalkers being frivolous and silly and hysterical and overly emotional, most of the people saying that are males because they can't handle that type of emotion. They can't handle that vulnerability. So the easy
saying anything
response to that is to point the finger at you and say, you're lying, you're faking. Mm-hmm. The goal is not only to play in this, to fall into the stereotype of that only males are stalkers, only males can be violent. That's bullshit. The goal is to disempower you. The goal is to disempower all females.
I'm learning that actually.
That are stalked by other females.
Learning to walk that road. Being an ex-social worker, I have like such kindness and I want to help everybody. But in this day and age, and with my autoimmunes, I can't help everyone, but I can feel bad for you, but I can also not like your behavior. And I'm just kind of learning all of that, relearning it at an older age, just trying to balance everything. And I'll feel guilty for making fun of them later in the day. I'm sure I will. But my sarcasm is really thick right now because I'm just really angry at these two. I just really am angry at the fact that they cannot see it. Like can we take their heads and just knock them together? You think that would work? Just knock them together and then, oh, we see it. We're both idiots. Yes, we're all idiots in this situation. Sorry, folks. Sorry. Goodbye. that's not going to happen, but you know.
Females, the goal is to make you look irrational. The goal is to make you look weak and stupid and irrational. It's to call you a liar, to discredit you. And you know what it's about? It's about the fact that these people cannot handle vulnerability. It's about the fact that years ago when that person cut me.
He says these words, these are the exact words that are slapping them back in the face. These people cannot handle vulnerability. They cannot handle any narrative getting out that isn't their own carefully crafted narrative. It's uncomfortable. It's uncomfortable when people say things about you that aren't true. It's horrible, actually. But, I mean, once it happens a few times, then you're like, I kind of know who I am. I know who I am. I know who I am. And those aren't true words. And also you realize too that you don't have to show up to every argument. You don't have to defend yourself with everything that everybody says about you. You don't have to do that. In fact, it makes it worse. So it's just this fine balance that you choose to do when you choose this line of work. It just is what it is. And if you don't like it, then like become a behind the scenes writer.
Behind the barn, there's a thicket, and if you listen late at night, you'll hear a cricket, and it sings a song, and I know the words